So the goal of today's video is to show you an alternative way to pursue success. Many people think that in order to pursue their dreams, it's like they have to beat themselves to improve. You know, you have to wake up in the morning and say, "Oh my gosh, Susan, you're so lazy. Oh my gosh, Susan, no one likes you. Oh my gosh, Susan, yada yada yada," right? That won't motivate you to succeed. If you had a twin right now, how would you treat your twin? What would you say to them? You know, they are you. Genetically, they are you. You'd look at your twin and you'd say, "It's a great day today. I love you just the way you are. You're just like me," right? You'd be very, very kind to your twin. In the same way, that's how you motivate yourself, right? You're very kind. You're very gentle. Now, this is my philosophy. You know, some other people like Larry Winget, he's a bit more of a in-your-face, you gotta do it kind of thing. And to some extent, there is that. But I think life should also be about having fun. So let's explain it. Why are kids so great at being successful? What makes kids successful, right? All kids speak. They learn how to speak. You don't have to teach them. They figure it out. All kids walk. They learn how to walk. They don't have to figure that out. Almost all kids pick up social cues, right? You have to teach some things, but all kids across cultures pick up body language. You don't. There's no textbook on body language that teaches you how to learn body language. There are books that do that, so you can go learn a bit more, but emotionally you understand body language. It's just there, right? So why do kids know that transparently? Why do they understand that stuff? And I'll tell you why. It's because kids are never embarrassed. Let me say that again. Kids are never embarrassed. I'm talking really young. Maybe, I'm not sure at what point you start getting embarrassed, but at some point you do. But before then, there's no shame when you're a kid, right? And this is a very goofy story. I'm going to tell you this story. It's very goofy. When I was a young little boy, my mother ran a daycare, and apparently after school, when all the other children's parents were arriving to pick up their kids, they found me in the front lawn urinating against a tree with my pants all the way around my ankles. I was waving my flag high. I did not care, right? I had no embarrassment. I was not embarrassed. Well, I was embarrassed, but I was not embarrassed. So yeah, when you're a kid, you don't care. You don't understand that you can be ashamed of something, right? How does that work in their favor? Let me give you an example. And this is true of everyone, by the way, right? Think about the first time, or any time, you tried to learn to dance. It's awkward. You don't know what to do. You feel self-conscious. You're trying to do something here. Any type of dance is always, it's just weird. It's uncomfortable. It does not make sense. I remember being so scared of just moving a finger the wrong way on a dance floor because someone wouldn't like me. You know, one of the strongest needs and wants you want is to be liked. So how do you overcome that, right? How do you overcome embarrassment? Well, what you do is you release your inner child. Kids are great at learning, right? They learn language. You don't have to teach them that. They're not embarrassed. So that's kind of how I learned to dance. I started out kind of, here's my little dance moves, rah rah, rah rah, and then, well, okay, no one said anything. So your next dance day, haha, little, what do they do? Spirit fingers. And then I got really into it. I was like, woohoo! I was waving my arms. I'm a dance freak, wahaha. And I was really moving. And what's interesting is when you're doing that, as you're progressing like that, you actually become I noticed people saying I was a better dancer. And by no means am I, a ballroom dancer or formal dancer. I'm from the streets, yo. I learned everything. I've got to be the whitest boy ever from the streets. I got my street dancing skills, right? I got white boy street dancing skills. But right, that's one way that I learned to dance. I was kind of like an inner kid. I'm just whooshing and going around. I was at a wedding and there was this song and it was getting really, really, really intense. The beat, bum, 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 bum. And I knew in a couple of seconds the beat was going to stop. So I was getting like really, really into it as the beats were going. And then all of a sudden the beat stopped. And I went, oh, my heart. Oh, and I just fell down. It just didn't move. On the dance floor, all my friends knew I was messing around. They were like doing this, bent over. They were like, oh my gosh, he's down there, what's he doing? But they're dancing while they're doing it. All the old folks in the audience were like, oh my god, what just happened? Right? That's okay to do. Let me give you another example. This is from Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman was one of the most intelligent physicists of the modern era. And he lived his lifestyle he was like a little kid. He pulled little mischievous pranks. Do you know the coolest prank Richard Feynman ever pulled? During the Manhattan Project, Richard Feynman, he went into his boss's office and he opened up the safe. Pulled out the confidential documents about how to make a nuclear warhead, closed the safe up, put a note in the safe that said, thanks, the Russians, and then he closed the safe, left the office. I'm not a military guy, but that would scare the crap out of anyone on that base. Where's the nuclear information, right? I'm sure he got yelled at, like, as close to being executed for a prank that you could be. Richard Feynman got there, right? But you gotta admit, that prank is beautiful. That is so funny. What ways can you be goofy? Can you do goofy little pranks for friends? Can you find a way to learn how to dance like a kid? Here's something you can do, right? This example is from Paul Rudd. Wake up early in the morning in an area you know your wife is about to walk into, or flip it around if you're the wife, where your husband's about to walk into. This might work more for a man than for a lady, but try it out. Why don't you literally try being in there in front of your spouse, right? As your spouse walks into a room, there she's going to find you with your pants around your ankles and you're showing off your butt. Hello! Wouldn't that be funny? Like, apparently this is what Paul Rudd used to do. Paul Rudd would go into a bathroom where he knew someone was about to walk in. He'd stand in front of the urinal. He'd drop his pants down to his ankles. And how funny is that? Can you imagine walking into a bathroom and seeing some guy's rear end and then saying, Paul Rudd, is that you? Paul Rudd is the Marvel miniature guy. He becomes a tiny dude. That's hilarious, right? If you can find fun ways to succeed that make you laugh, that's going to be a great way to get to overcome and get somewhere, right? A lot of people, when they're trying to be successful, when they're trying to move towards something, one of the things they tend to do is they tend to think, I've got to push past something. I've got to get somewhere. And if they don't do it, they start yelling at themselves internally, right? Have you ever woken up one morning and said to yourself, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so lazy," or have you ever cursed at yourself in your head? Have you ever reprimanded yourself? Have you ever insulted yourself as a way to motivate yourself to like get out and do something? That doesn't work. Imagine it right now. You have a twin. Your twin is you. Genetically, they are you. How would you treat your twin? What would you say to them? You would say, "You're fantastic. I like you the way you are. You're just like me. It's almost like we're copies." You might say something like, "I love your mustache. You look fantastic today. I like the way you like being a child. I like the way you like to learn." Right? You would be very gentle with yourself. Occasionally, there's times to sort of light a fire, they might say. But most of the time, you really want to be gentle. How do you motivate people to get better? Right? Go read this. This I can actually quote as well as I can, because this is from Dale Carnegie. He wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the things he said is, the best way to motivate someone is to give them a compliment. Something nice, right? I exercised my inner kid this morning. I saw a girl walking down the street. I said, "You dressed up so much more than I did today," and she kind of smiled a little bit. And I said, "By the way, I'm single." And then she kind of like ducked her head and walked a little bit further away, and I was like, "I'm aggressively not embarrassed." Right? It's a nice little. I think you're valuable. I think it's okay to say. It should be okay to say. Anyway, yeah, you want to practice your little inner child, right? You want to find ways to move forward without beating yourself up. Because if you want to learn to dance, you have to look weird. A problem with success, every step you take feels odd. It scares you, right? Doing anything you've never done before when other people can see you do it and can see you when you make mistakes, that is kind of scary. So just be a little kid, Rules don't matter. If the only thing you have to apologize for is the things you do knowing they're wrong, right? I can give you an example. So suppose you make a mistake, but your intent was not to do it. Your intent was to fix the problem, but you somehow made a mistake. So I gotta think of an example. Okay, let's say your goal is you want to be a more social person, right? I used to be kind of a shy person. Well, let's say you want to be more social. One of the rules about being more social is it's like dancing, right? It's scary at first, but the only way you get better is if you're a little goofy and just try to go out and do something. So try this, right? Say your goal is you want to become let's say you want to fly airplanes, right? You want to fly airplanes. Next time you're on a plane, walk up to the pilot or the stewardess and say, "Hey, I want to learn how to fly airplanes. I'd love to buy you lunch." That most people are okay with that, right? That's not embarrassing to do. Or maybe I can't think for you. You have to think for yourself, I guess. But find a way that makes success fun. You know, learning's got to be about having fun. Life has got to be about having fun. I don't think if you can't laugh during life is not worth living, I don't think. My friend Norbert, he likes to talk about, he'll talk about anything, but he's very, very funny. There have been days when I asked my friend Norbert, I said, Norbert, you know, I don't think my day's going so well. And he would say, well, I guess that means that you didn't find a method that works for you. There are a million different methods you can try to pursue success. You just found one method that doesn't work for you. Go and try a different method. Right? How did Thomas Edison invent the electric light bulb? Do you think Thomas Edison woke up each day saying, "Oh, I'm such a failure. Oh, I can't figure this out"? I don't think so. There's actually a great example. Something is like this example. I heard this from Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins says, you know, this guy Edison made his like 900th experiment. He blew up, caused a small little explosion, and it scared Edison. It scared Edison, and it scared his partner there. And the partner was like, "Dude, when are you gonna give this up? This is stupid. You know, that was a dumb little mistake you did." And Edison said, "No, I did not have a mistake just now. I just found a way that makes a small explosion. I could probably utilize that at some point. Now I just have to go do something else." So I think a great pathway towards success is finding ways to be fun, and doing away with your embarrassment. Give it a try. Let me know what you think.